guys, welcome back to another episode of the Dropping Down from the Rafters podcast here on Tone and Entertainment. There's already 3 comments here. We haven't even started this podcast yet, and it feels like Brian Bayside, my guest here, is going to make some people sad because let's see, Big Hoss Z says, "I hope Bayside is in full gear." Brian, you're not in full gear.
No, I'm ruining my own gimmick.
Right. It's okay. That's what the podcast is about. It's about being comfortable in your own home, right?
Yeah.
Well, Brian,
I'm actually in a studio.
Oh, okay. Well, wherever you're at.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if you were in your home, it would make sense for maybe you to be in a gear. But if you're running around a studio, maybe not so much then.
You got it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Brian, thank you so much for taking some time out and joining me here on the podcast tonight.
Oh, yeah. I'm super excited.
Yeah, it was cool. Like, I know you jumped into the podcast I had like a month or so ago when I had Stan Styles and Academia and Abs on the channel. And then, yeah.
we don't talk about Abs. He's got one up on me. We don't talk about Abs.
Okay. Well, oh, man, that's going to be complicated because a lot of the matches I've watched, I think some of the ladies have one-ups on you as well, too, Brian.
Oh, man. All right. Yeah, we can talk about Abs, actually.
Okay. Oh, yeah. The VSW says CWO. He's CWO for life in here.
Oh, no. Down with the creamy world order. Down.
Mm-hmm. Brian Bayside, you're way too colorful for the black and white of the creamy world order.
Yeah. No, it's just, it's a side of Brian Bayside that can never be a thing. Yeah. Okay, so there's no money, no amount of whipped cream that could like change your mind to join the CWO. No, I think that actually, if you in that Abs match, if you recall, I was hypnotized with whipped cream. So I mean, I can't be caught, I guess.
Okay, well, that was one of the things I was going to bring up because I did watch that match, and I'm like, okay, I'm a big guy. I enjoy whipped cream and my hot chocolate, and maybe on my ice cream. And I feel like if Stan did that to me, I'd probably be hypnotized as well, too. So was it hard to, the trance of Stan Styles is very powerful, and the whipped cream, too.
He got me. At first, I was looking at the ref. I was like, what's going on? And then I don't know what happened. I think I like blanked out in like some DiCaprio Inception and went down some rabbit hole of whipped cream, I think.
Okay. The VSW wants to know Abs or Tremont?
In terms of what?
Oh, yeah, in terms of what? Yeah, like friends, enemies, tough opponents. Yeah, we have to be a little specific there, right?
Yeah, let's narrow it down. I mean, Tremont, obviously a better person than Abs. Abs is the scum of the earth.
Oh, poor Abs.
Not poor Abs, poor me. He cheated.
Well, Brian, I've been watching a bunch of your matches, and of course I went back and watched the last Intergender Bonanza. And it seems like you kind of got some blood sucked out of you by Dracula's assistant there, Serena Vale.
Yeah. I don't know what happened. I was hooked, and then I was bitten. The sun hurt the next day, so I guess I didn't turn completely.
I was gonna say, when you signed up to be a professional wrestler, did you ever think you had to worry about getting bit?
No. I can't say that was on the wrestling school itinerary back in the day.
And you've had quite a few things that probably haven't been on the wrestling school itinerary. I've seen you involved with a match with Legos. I've seen you in the ring with somebody I'm familiar with. She tends to dabble in the dark arts. Gypsy Mac as well, too.
Yes, yeah, the Bruja baddie. Once again, I fell victim.
Okay. Oh, okay. So the VSW wants to know, who would you rather beat up, Abs or Tremont?
Abs.
Big Hoss says Marty Jannetty.
Well, funny story. I did wrestle Marty Jannetty.
Oh, okay. Let's talk about wrestling. Okay. Marty Jannetty's pretty iconic in the world of professional wrestling.
Yeah, it was awesome. We ended up on Botchamania. It was great. Yeah.
Okay. Is that a thing checked off the bucket list then?
Yeah. I got super kicked. It was great. Yeah, it was
okay.
That was. I didn't go through the power shop window, but it was close. Yeah.
Okay, so what was the chemistry like dealing? I don't want to say dealing, but kind of like working with Marty Jannetty.
This was I want to say this is maybe like 10, maybe like 7 years ago, if that. He was interesting to work with. I'll tell you that. He is a larger than life individual. I thought he would have been like more reserved, but no, not at all. That man is a party.
Okay. I remember kind of like when I first started going to independent shows in the early 2000s, and I remember Marty Jannetty being like the headliner at like one of the shows. And I remember people were giving him a lot of grief, like kind of like, oh, where's Sean at? Because you know how wrestling fans are. And it was kind of like, he wasn't in the WWF anymore and was just working like at these rodeo arenas essentially then. They were giving him a lot of grief back then.
Yeah, I would say nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed. Okay.
That sounds like exactly what I remember.
Wrestling fans will always once they have a mindset of something, they're always going to continue in that pathway, I think.
It's a little difficult to deter them, I'd say. Yeah.
Okay. Now, what really caught my interest, Brian, with you, I like larger than life characters. I like somebody who stands out. And I'm a huge 90s nerd as well, too. So, you got the name, you got Brian Bayside. You hail from Kelly Kapowski's bedroom. I've heard you ring announce from. So let's dive a little into the Bayside part, the Saved by the Bell references. Talk to me a little bit about the influences there.
Yeah, I think like maybe any kid during my time in the 90s, I was obsessed with California Dreams and Saved by the Bell. Yeah, I don't know, just something about the Zach attack. I think when I was a kid, I used to lie to people and say my name was Zach.
Everybody wanted to be a preppy at one point, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, never really wanted to be AC Slater. I was never falling for that. No.
Okay, hold on. We got a very important question here. We got Stan Styles here in the chat, and he wants to know where the hell is Rewind 89, because Rewind has been here every single podcast, and Stan Styles is here too, and there's no Rewind 89. Where are you, Rewind 89? Because I saw breaking news today that Stan Styles does have an OnlyFans as well now too.
Only Creams?
Nice. Only Creams. Well, I know I love Stan, but I don't know if that's the kind of material I want to take a look at, though. That's just me personally.
Yeah, no, not for me. Maybe the VSW podcast. They're still commenting, boasting up abs. But yeah, I definitely will not be subscribing to that. I am curious. Is Rewind 89, is that actually a Stan Styles burner account that he uses to make himself feel better?
Well, we thought it was an abs burner account, but they've assured me both that it's not, that it's Rewind 89 is their own person.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Well, at least they'll have one sub.
Right. Well, I do want to touch into the Saved by the Bell stuff. Because for me, I was kind of going through that transition where I was going from 8th grade to high school, and Saved by the Bell was I think they were doing the same thing. Well, they were going from high school to college years. I think that transition for me. So I always thought, I went to private school, I went to Catholic school, 25 people in my class. So I didn't know what to expect. I was going to public school for the first time in high school. So I'm watching Saved by the Bell, right? And I'm thinking, okay, this is what I'm thinking high school is going to be like. And then you get to high school. It's absolutely nothing like that.
Oh, it's nothing like I went to public school my whole life. It was absolutely nothing like it. Yeah.
Right. Now you said it's funny because you said you wanted to be Zach, I guess, at the time, and AC Slater. I actually interviewed, did a shot of interview with Mario Lopez about 3 years ago too. And one of the guys there that was also doing interviews, we were there. He was there. Kind of there for a boat parade. So he was really there to answer questions about the parade. But then one guy wanted to give him Saved by the Bell trivia. And he was like, man, no. And then the guy starts doing it. He's like, oh, so we're really going to do this, are we? So if you run into Mario Lopez, probably don't ask him Saved by the Bell trivia. He probably doesn't want to do it.
How did he do?
I couldn't really tell because it was kind of like we were off doing our own thing. I think he got the first question right, but then we had to leave the room and go to the next thing because we were the first group in there to do the stuff. But I know he got the first question right, but I don't remember after that. But yeah, it was just kind of it's more. That's more of us. I think we would be the guys that would want to do Saved by the Bell trivia.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Okay. So
not so much the new class. Not so much the new class.
The new class was such a blatant wannabe ripoff of like it was the exact same storylines, but like with characters we really didn't care about.
It's tough to be invested in anyone on that show.
Right. Well, Big Hoss says Bob Golick was amazing in the college years as their RA. I did like the college years, but like it was good for like one and done, and because it didn't have any like it just didn't have that magic anymore. The college years,
the pizzazz was dead.
Right.
Yeah.
What's a Saved by the Bell episode that stands out to you?
Oh man, let's see. I do love when they do the Dancing with the Brooms. That will always be a favorite.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I love that one. Jesse Spano. I'm so excited. It's all the good hits. Yeah. Like those two, without a doubt, probably my favorite. You know, I revisited those a few years ago, like the earlier episodes, like the Miss Bliss, the Good Morning Miss Bliss ones. This is like OG like seasons of it, and it's like watching that now. It's a little like tough to like really care about the show until afterwards, which is funny.
Right? Yeah, because it's like kind of like when it's like Kelly comes in and Jesse, like the main ones, because I know it had like Zach and Lisa and Screech in the original three, and then like three other people that were like, oh yeah, sure, whatever. But it's like, we like our main six cast.
That's pretty much how it went down. Yeah.
Let's see. Joshua Baroni says Brian Bayside, the man who single-handedly made Joey Ryan retire. Oh, okay.
I can confirm there is no truth to that.
Okay.
But I did wrestle him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've gotten in the ring with Marty Jannetty, with Joey Ryan. You have gotten into the ring with just a lot of polarizing characters or people, I should say. Yeah.
Yes. Definitely reputations you should not follow.
Okay. So let's talk about some of these women's matches. I mean, it seems like, you're bigger than them, you're stronger than them, but they kind of seem to go for moves that guys don't really appreciate to have done to them in order to get these victories.
Yeah. I mean, do tell.
Okay. So let's go a little bit back. Okay, so we're here in December of 2024. So when did your pro wrestling journey begin, Brian?
Let's see. So it kind of started when I was 17. So this is going back, I don't know, 15 years ago. No, like 17 years ago. It started there. I was trained by an enhancement talent guy that used to wrestle for the WWF named Tony Roy, who also trained Triple H.
Okay.
Yeah, I did that for probably about a year. Then I started working shows, and then I stopped. And then I moved to California to pursue film. And then when I was in California many years later, I hooked up with Paul London, and then he trained me. And then that's kind of how that re-jump started. So technically, it's about 3 years.
Okay, so really, the last 3 years has really been like the fire, the new Brian Bayside that we should all be watching and paying attention to. Then
this is the era of Rub My Belly. Yeah. This
okay. Okay. Somebody asked in the comments, I think right off the beginning. Let's see, they said, they were saying that they hope I would rub your belly, but obviously we're in two different very locations right now, so that can't happen today.
It can't happen today.
That doesn't mean it can't happen at a future like intergender bonanza show or something crazy, right? Would you let me rub your belly if we did an in-person interview, Brian?
Well, Tony, you're saying there's a chance.
I never thought I would ask so many guys to, well, I shouldn't say so many guys. I said just guys to rub their belly, but okay. So you took a nice hiatus to pursue film. Was there anything interesting or anything you could talk about that you did while you were out in California?
I would say probably couple of the two last things, which unfortunately was kind of the end of when I decided to hang it up. I did a spec sitcom pilot called Group, which was about group therapy, and I had Aaron Carter in it. The old pop singer, Nick Carter's brother from the Backstreet Boys. We did that for Hulu, and then probably like a few weeks after shooting, he passed away, and then I ended up directing segments of his documentary on Hulu.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like a jack of all trades when it comes to doing things.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you're a good person to know that for sure. Okay.
Yeah, I've been around the block. I've seen some things. Yeah.
Okay. How would you rate or describe the differences in pro wrestling from like the beginning when you started to the crazy world here in 2024?
Like it's definitely grown. It's evolved, like everything, like the style, the people, like it's just kind of like the overall like outlook. I feel like on wrestling is changed. I feel like when I started coming in, it was kind of like I was just around the guys that was very like old school, like not like no like comedy gimmicks, no like spotty stuff, just like super like I'm an 80s wrestling guy, super like 80s like wrestling style. And it was like very much like cookie cutter that. But I feel like now it's just evolved into like such like a huge thing versus what it used to be. I don't know. I just feel like it's grown over time.
Okay, I would agree. I mean, I've never stepped foot in the squared circle. I've only been a fan and now a podcaster and an interviewer and stuff like that. And when I first started going to when I first found out about independent shows, I didn't even know about them. Some buddies at my job were like, "Oh, we're going to go to an independent show," which was like Marty Jannetty was at. And I'm like, "Oh man, I'm excited." Cause we were ECW guys, we were WCW, WWE. And my friend was like, "Well, we're going to go, but don't expect good wrestling. Like we're actually going to like laugh. Like, because it's bad, and it's like, we're going for like to heckle the wrestlers. We're going to like and it was like, I feel like bad about saying something like that, but it wasn't very good, on the indie scene. It was like that one, guy that would be the focus show, but it didn't feel like it was guys and girls there would be like one person that was like, okay, this is a prospect that he could go to the WWE, but everybody else on the show wasn't very talented. But now I feel like when you go to the shows now, like it's insane to me. I feel like the way that independent wrestling has evolved over those so many years, like it's legitimately, to me, in my personal opinion, like I enjoy watching it more than the product on television.
I would completely agree. I feel like when I watch the product on television, I'm just not as invested as I am like into the indies. Like being a wrestler, like aside, just kind of like as a fan, like as the consumer, I feel like the indie world is just so much bigger. I feel like I don't know. There's just you never know who you're going to run into because that next person in the locker room is going to be a future star. It's crazy.
Yeah, let me the VSW has a comment. I'm not going to read it out loud so I don't get demonetized, but I'll just bring it up there. And he said there's a little bit of the the sugar in the locker room. So
Yeah.
you don't have to speak on that. Even though the statute of limitations may be gone, but I'm not going to ask you to comment on that.
No. I'm just here for the belly rubs. That's about it.
Right. Exactly. Okay. Wow. Okay. So yeah.
If I did, but
right. So like back when you started, like I feel like now, like a lot of independent wrestlers are some of them can make a living doing this. And I felt like, years ago, maybe they couldn't. Is that something that a lot of indies wrestlers can do now? Like kind of like not work a second job, or is it still kind of like in that hybrid?
I'd say really it depends. I feel like that percentage that are able to do that, awesome for them, but I feel like it's still not sustainable income. I feel like you need that second hustle in order to survive.
Okay. Let's see. Big Hoss says that you also sell 8x10s at every show, and that you wrestle for the kids.
I'm family friendly. I love them all.
Right. He says, as a fan, the connection to the indie wrestlers is real and honest. You don't get that with the television product. And I definitely agree with that statement for sure.
Yeah, that's 100% accurate because you're more up and close, like personal. You see these people all the time for the most part, like going to all these indie shows. So like you build a rapport. So I feel like the connection is there versus what you get in like, I don't know, like a $100 like meet and greet at like a Comic-Con or something like that, which is very much just sign, take a picture, see you later.
Right.
Like,
absolutely.
Like there's no connection.
Yeah. And I feel like with the indies, the storylines don't have to be rushed so much either, and like fit a slot for a pay-per-view or something like that when you come back, the first of every month or whatever the date is, or shows run twice a month in different territories, you can kind of like ease into the storyline progression and tell like really good stories versus like, well, we have to get a bunch of stuff on TV today, And then next week it's a bunch of other stuff, and we can't tell this person's story because it feels a lot of rush on TV versus like, letting it the stories and making the connections like Big Haas said, like it's definitely real, I think, in the indies.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, working on like that larger scale, you have agents that are kind of basically telling you like running everything you're supposed to be doing, and then you're allotted only X amount of time because you have a commercial break. So right. I mean, you're really kind of just watering down the product. It's not organic. You don't really get to play with it and have fun. You're very much just following like a corporate system, I think.
Right. Okay. Well, you've been doing this again. You started, you took a break, you came back. So, like, if you had to tell, if you're, when you first started 17 years ago, if you had to, if that person had to give you some advice here in 2024, what would it be?
Moves don't matter. Build a gimmick, connect with the fans.
I see a lot of that too. I've seen some guys that literally don't have to go out there. And, I don't want to name drop anybody, but it's just like they've straight up told me, they're like, listen, I'm just going to go out there and do a couple headlocks and do this and do that. And he's like, watch this and watch the crowd get behind me. And they're remembering that person more than the guy that jumped over and almost broke his back on the floor then.
Yeah. I mean, I wish I could do all that stuff.
Okay.
But I can't. So I need to figure out something else to do. So I'll develop a shtick that will get over. Because, I mean, moves are cool, but you want to leave a lasting memory. You want to build the experience because they're going to talk about that. It's about creating the moments.
Okay. For those that haven't come to watch Brian Bayside in action, what can they expect when you walk through the curtain?
A whole lot of pink. I basically look like Kirby. Really, just overall, just a good time because I'll always hit you with the rub my belly.
Okay. And in this time, what would you say is the biggest lesson that you've learned about yourself?
Huh. That's a very good question. I don't know. I think I've developed more confidence in myself as a performer, and I think I wish I could have told myself that a long time ago.
Okay. Now we mentioned a handful of like really weird things, from like being bitten to dealing with, the dark arts and, Legos in the ring. Is there anything else that's even weirder that may stand out to you that you've been involved with? I mean, the Hypnotized by Whipped Cream, we brought that up as well too. I mean, that's just 4 crazy things off the top of my head.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I did kid and play dancing with like the one of the most notable, if not the best deathmatch wrestler on the planet. So I'd say, I don't know if anyone else has done that.
Okay, probably not. Okay. Let me bring up the comment by Joshua. He says, Brian legit has one of the best minds in the business. He gets it both as a booker and a talent. The amount of talent that made it big that he booked in Cali speaks volume, from Cross to Shotzi to Hobbs.
That's true.
Okay. Somebody asked me why I read out all these comments, and I'm like, because so many people don't physically watch sometimes, and they've just got it playing in their car and on their, podcast or whatever. So that's I need to answer that question from another comment from below. They're like, why are you reading out all the comments? Because so many people are audio style listeners too.
Yeah. I mean, it's true, but sometimes there's just good information in the comments. You just gotta read it out.
Right.
Especially
okay.
If you're driving, listening to the stream,
Right, exactly. Okay, so let's talk about, booking as well too. Okay, you're definitely one of the boys, you're one of the workers. So do you book shows that you're also working on? Like, how does that all work?
Yes and no. I'll work some of the shows that that I book for, and then I won't, and I'll just book. Yeah.
Okay. I've seen people legitimately booking, writing stuff down. It's like a pen and notepad and paper and like kind of old school, kind of like I would do as well too. What's kind of like your process to like booking matches? What goes into it?
For the most part, I think about what the fans want. I think about what they want to see, because they're what comes first over everything. So I bring in who I think they're going to like, what kind of match style they would like, do they want to see some high flyers? Do they want to see comedy? Like, then I build around those people that I think they would gravitate towards. And that's genuinely how I try to book.
Okay. Now you've had, plenty, you've had a nice career. Yeah. You've had and you've had a lot of interesting matches. Is there anybody still that's like in your notebook of people that you haven't crossed off yet that you're waiting to square off with?
Oh, that's That's a really good question. We were just talking about this too. Who is on my list? I'm drawing a blank right now. Drawing a blank.
Okay.
I want to wrestle Kikutaro again from DDT from Japan.
Okay.
Yeah, I wrestled him early on in my career. Yeah.
Okay. I think some of the guys, I don't know. I would like to see maybe face off with Cody Fluffman or the Cheese, or or team up as like a 6-man tag. I think that could be a lot of fun too.
All right, now it's coming back to me. All right, Cheeseburger.
Okay, Cheeseburger. Okay.
Yeah, Puff. Sexy Eddie. I want to. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think those are some people I think I'd like to wrestle that I haven't.
Awesome. Yeah, I saw Sexy Eddie wrestle at the Intergender Bonanza during Creamania up there in New Jersey.
Oh,
yeah. I was at that show, and that was definitely a lot of fun. Big Hoss says, "Do you know how much it costs to fly him out here?"
I don't know. I ain't paid for it.
Right, exactly. It's not coming out of your wallet.
Yeah, no, book it.
Let's book it. Okay. So okay, I kind of like want to go back to the 90s stuff, if you don't mind. And just like, you've got the pink, you got the colors and the shapes and everything on like that. So, what's kind of like maybe some of like your favorite 90s memories, or maybe things from the 90s that, we had that you wish maybe would make a comeback?
Ooh. I guess it just depends. I mean, I still love me some N64.
Right. Okay. The classic. Right.
Yeah. What about Pogs? Where are the Pogs, man?
Pogs, have they ever made a comeback?
No, but they should. Everything else is nostalgic. That's got to be next.
Right. Okay. Yeah, we've got everything, I think, back. I mean, I've got a pair of Reebok pumps over there, like, it's like, come on,
Hit them with the OGs. I like it. Nice.
Right. Exactly. It was one of those things that like I begged my parents to buy me as a kid, and they were like, oh, it's $100. Like, no, you're getting, your $30 sneakers, and everybody else had pumps. And I was like, I'm a grown up, damn it. I'm going to buy myself some Reebok pumps now.
I want me some pumps too, man.
Right, exactly. And when you wear them out too, people are like, "Oh, damn, are those?" Yeah, no, they're the Reebok pumps. They're the Reebok pumps. Yeah, there was just so many cool things. Like, let's talk about your thoughts on maybe like Blockbuster Video. Like, were you a Blockbuster guy?
Oh, I used to love every week, like Friday, like as a kid going up there. Oh, I missed that so much. Like that whole like nostalgic feel of just like looking through the video you want is there and it's not gone. Like, oh, I love it.
It was like the thrill of a lifetime. It was the same thing. It was like a classic thing. Like, again, I appreciate that we have everything so much like at our fingertips now that if I want to watch the Goonies, I can watch the Goonies right now without a problem. But the fact of going to the actual Blockbuster, and there was like an adrenaline rush at the time because you knew you wanted to see Terminator or you wanted to see The Predator or whatever movie was kind of high. And yeah, when that movie was behind that little box and you got that and you got some Milk Duds and some popcorn to go with it, and you got to rent a Nintendo game as well too. I mean, come on, right?
There is like no better feeling. I feel like we're spoiled now. Back then, we took all those things for granted, I think.
We absolutely do. I'm like, yeah, okay, Jingle All the Way, cool. It's on right now.
I just saw that on Prime the other day. I was like, oh, I got to watch that.
Was it Jingle All the Way?
It was, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's a holiday classic, man.
Literally one of my favorites.
Okay. Yeah, I've got the Turbo Man doll, and yeah, I'm a obviously, you saw my outro, so I'm an Arnold nerd as well, too.
I was going to say I did notice that, yeah.
Right, okay. What are some of like maybe like your favorite like 90s, can I say, albums?
Ooh. I feel like it was it cassettes or was it like still CDs? It was CDs.
It was both, a little bit of both, yeah. Because I was buying both. I would buy the Guns N' Roses tape and then have to go buy the CD now because now it's it's a better listen.
That's a good question. I think the first CD I ever bought was the Slim Shady, the Slim Shady EP.
Okay.
I think that was the very first one I ever bought. And then what's another one? NSYNC.
Okay.
I'm not ashamed of it. I love boy bands.
Hey, there's nothing to be ashamed. There's nothing to be ashamed. I'll tell you, the first CD I ever bought was MC Hammer, so it's okay.
Oh, nice. Too legit.
Like, yeah, I think it was the second because I had the You Can't Touch This one on cassette. And I remember like buying, it was the Too Legit and I think the Addams Family and all that other stuff that was on that CD. Yeah. Well, here's a good question for you, and there may only be one answer. Brian, who's your favorite 90s white wrestling rapper?
So I get a lot of comparisons to WCW's PN News.
Oh, no. No. Yo, baby. Yo, baby. Yo. I was actually excited because I think it was like, it was COVID. It was the year of COVID, 2020. And I knew one of the vendors, and he was actually supposed to be bringing in Van Hammer and like PN News. And then Van Hammer, I think, had he had something where he got into like some trouble or something like that. I don't want to speak on it because I can't remember exactly what it is. So I don't want to falsely say what it is. But I remember PN News, and I was excited because I'm like, man, I have the WCW comic books. Like, I have the trading cards still. And I'm like, yo, baby, yo.
Hey, he made John Cena.
Oh.
Same gimmick, just less bright.
You heard it here first, Brian Bayside. That says that Rap Master PN News is the one that made John Cena. Okay.
Without a doubt. I just saw PN News is coming. It's coming to that T-Mart thing. What is it? The Gathering, the Wrestle Gathering. I saw he's coming to that next year.
Is he? Okay.
Well, someone sent me the screenshot of it, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Okay, so when you say "oh my god," like, what does that mean? Were you like geeking out over it? Were you excited or?
Oh, I was geeking out. I was like, if I can get to this, I got to meet the guy. Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of funny. I do have another get up that I'm debuting soon that actually is homage to PN News.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah. So
okay.
It's funny that who is that? Big Hoss brought that up.
Big Hoss, yes. Okay, the Rap Master PN News. Brian Bayside paying homage to the Rap Master. Okay, yeah. Very cool. Very cool. Well, is there anything else cool that we should know that you got going on, Brian?
I mean, that's about it. Wrestling January 11th for Focus Pro, larger than life, over in Braintree, Massachusetts. That's really all I got coming up right now. This month had a couple shows, but they got canceled. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So kind of a sad month.
Okay. I mean, it's like December and I think so many people try to do stuff. Then they're like, oh, well, it's the holidays. It costs this much money to fly people in and do stuff. And people are booking and doing other stuff. I feel like it's always a little awkward this time of year to try to maybe do too much, Yeah.
It's I feel usually like everything takes a break around now anyway. So like I'm fine with it. It's nice, get to chill a little bit. Right.
VSW says February 7th, BWA.
Oh yeah. I'm booked there too. Yeah. Check
it out. It says Pogo versus Belly.
Milo Mira. He's went viral for doing the pogo stick. Yeah.
Okay.
Flying into a ring. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so you got something coming up in January. You got something coming up in February. I know Mania was kind of like up in your kind of like area last year. So is there any plans to, do anything out in Vegas this year, or I should say next year?
Actually going out to Vegas for Mania week. So we will see what happens, but someone's got to touch the belly.
Oh, and in Vegas, I'm sure lots of people will be happy to touch the belly, and you can ask for tips out there for it too.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. Get the tip jar ready. Get the PayPal. Get everything ready. Like, yes, definitely make it happen.
Yeah. I got to put it on the merch stand now, around my belly. I got to put that on there.
Yes. Even $5. Well, I don't want to tell you what I don't know what the going rate is, but
Well, we'll go $5. $5 for belly rub. You heard it here first.
Okay. All right. Because what bellies get rubbed in Vegas stays out there in Vegas, except for, make some cash with it, right?
Hey, listen, dollar bill, y'all.
Right. Yeah. Okay. For sure. Well, Brian, thank you so much for your time. I don't know if there's anything else that you want to touch on while we have you here, though.
Oh no, we're good to go. I just appreciate you bringing me on.
Absolutely. And I can't wait I'm going to head out to Vegas as well, too, for Mania weekend. So hopefully I definitely want to put one of your shows on my radar. I definitely want to catch up with you in person and definitely see one of, your matches live. And hopefully you're not bit by a vampire or, have a witch to deal with, but it's Vegas. So it might even get weirder out there. So let's just be honest about that.
Yeah. I mean, people pay for that sort of thing. So, I mean, sure.
They certainly do. They certainly do. Well, Brian, where can people follow you at?
Instagram, Facebook, anywhere in the world at Brian Bayside.
All right, Brian. Well, keep on killing it, man. I'm a huge professional wrestling fan, but most of all, I like to be entertained when I'm watching my wrestling matches. That's why I love the stuff that Stan does with Intergender Bonanza. I love having memories from shows, and you're creating memories. I've only been able to watch your stuff on, YouTube and on the independent wrestling television, but I can't wait to catch one of your shows live in person. Big Hoss is giving a round of applause here, but definitely want to catch one of your shows out there in Vegas or somewhere. I'm in the Atlanta area. So if you're ever down in North Carolina, Atlanta, please feel free to shoot me a message. Be like, hey, I'm working the show. If you can make it out there, let me know, and definitely would like to check it out.
Absolutely. Also, before we go, I just thought of somebody that lives in Atlanta that want to wrestle, Zicky Dice.
Oh, let's make it happen. I've only been in Atlanta for 6 weeks, so I am learning everything, but I've learned a lot though in 6 weeks. So,
nice.
But definitely, yeah, if you're down here, definitely hit me up. And guys, if you haven't been following Brian Bayside, please make sure you're doing it. Watch the matches on YouTube and come out to his shows. They're definitely a lot of fun. Brian, again, thank you so much for your time tonight.
Yeah, not a problem. Thank you.
All right, guys, if you like interviews and wrestling podcasts and highlight videos and all that good stuff, if you haven't already, guys, make sure you hit that red subscribe button so you can stay tuned in here to Tone and Entertainment for future videos. Subscribe to the channel. Do it. Go now. Do it now.